Call to order the council meeting of the city of Fulton. Roll call please, Tori.
Mayor Malone,
Here.
Alderperson Boonstra, Burgraff,
Here.
King,
Here.
Ask, Sewell,
Here.
Van Campen. Here. Wilkin.
Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, now we will swear in Zachary Ratcliffe to the first ward. New alderperson.
Raise your right hand. I, Zach Ratcliffe, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of alderperson for the city of Fulton to the best of my ability.
I do.
So you answered. Go ahead and sign there. And we'll do one more. This will be your copy, the other one's for your file.
Oops.
Way to go, start breaking things.
I'll get this notarized and get it back to you. You may take your seats.
Congratulations. Packed everything right. Congratulations, Zach.
Welcome aboard.
We do not have any presentations this evening.
No,
Any communication from any visitors, Tori?
no.
All right, number 7, consent agenda. All items in the consent agenda will be enacted by a single motion and roll call vote. Any item may be removed upon request by the mayor or any alderman and considered individually after all other items of business on the consent agenda. And we will be looking at approve regular meeting minutes from June 9, 2025, the city council meeting, pages 4 to 6, and approve the April 2025 treasurer's report, pages 7 through 14. May I get a motion?
Second.
Roll call please, Tori.
Alderperson Boonstra,
Discussion.
Burgraff,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Bask, Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Sewell,
Yes.
Van Campen. Yes. Wilkin.
Yes.
All right, number 8 are the standing committee appointments. Right now, just read these real quick. Over budget concerns is Mindy and Zach. Public Works, Kathy and Zach. Economic Development, which we've now covers tourism, so no one will be appointed to tourism committee. That will be Barbara and Sue.
I have a question on that.
Yes.
So does that mean that the tourism committee that meets regularly now is this committee, or are
Yeah.
you separating, or you're throwing that in, or?
Or they're taking it
There
over.
basically is no tourism committee. They're gonna discuss tourism during the economic development committee
Okay.
meeting.
So the whole reason the tourism committee was added 2 years ago was because we felt like we needed a pulse on what was happening with them, because there were several, what am I trying to say? Tourism things like the windmill and Heritage Canyon that we were giving money to, but yet that committee was just kind of hanging around out here and we weren't tapped into it. So that was kind of why we had aldermen like in that, and that was, became a standing committee, so.
I think it'll still be very similar. I think they're adding in the economic development piece, but it became the economic development committee, because I was on that and we didn't meet for the last year because Mayor Winnie didn't feel that there was any purpose for that committee to meet because we didn't have land use and different things like that available to us. So I think they decided at the last meeting it was discussed to basically retitle tourism economic development and add some of that back into it, but it would ultimately be the same group of people that had been meeting before, plus an economic development piece.
Okay, so basically Sue is going to the tourism committee meetings now with Barb. Like that tourism group, the way you just explained it was that,
That was my understanding at
same-
the last meeting.
like the same group of meeting would still be the same group of people were still attending the meetings.
The-
And then you were adding the economic piece to the tourism meeting.
Jackie,
No,
can I make
the-
a suggestion? I think maybe the others need to know who was actually in those meetings to understand
Sure.
what you're talking about.
So it was basically a member from the steering committee, which would have been Judy Holsinger was representative, Carol Fritz would have been the representative for Heritage Canyon. The owner of the hotel was always invited. Kyle Cope, he's in charge of the Andreessen Center. Myself, kind of on behalf of the Fulton Fun crew, and then as an alderman. Barb as an alderman, and also for the Martin House. Paula Ensinger was kind of like the downtown representative, downtown business representative. And then the Lukers, and they were to represent the cultural center. So,
Those people will be invited to this meeting for the economic development.
okay,
It'll all be discussed in one meeting.
Okay.
That's the plan.
all right.
Public safety, Keith and Terry. Parks and Recreation, Sue and Jackie. Marina, Jackie and Keith, and then personnel, Terry and Mindy. And then when we get to our strategic plan, comprehensive plan, we'll probably develop a ad hoc committee to meet with those folks when they come in and we'll see how that plays out. Okay, current business number 8. We, as discussed last meeting, we have a motion to approve and vote on an ordinance establishing a new section 22 prohibition of kratom, synthetic drugs, synthetic cannabinoids, psychoactive drugs, and,
Yeah, say that one.
okay, THC, tetrahydrocannabinol products. Businesses of Chapter 91, Title 9 of the Code of Ordinance for the City of Fulton. It's pages 15 through 19 of your packet. Motion, please.
So moved. Can I add no grandfathering?
I'm not sure, do you?
Right now, it doesn't allow,
Huh?
well, somebody needs to make a second on the motion, and then we can go.
Okay,
I'll support.
okay, discussion?
Okay, so right now, it doesn't allow for grandfathering, it's not. What it's doing is it's addressing the synthetic products. So that's the Delta 9, things that are being made out of, not Delta 9, because Delta 9 is actually how they measure whether something's cannabis or hemp, but products that have had chemicals added to them to amp up the effect. So this is just going to affect everybody
Okay, but then people that have already got it in town will have to quit
from
selling
selling it.
You'll have to quit selling it.
it. That's what I wanted to make sure, that's why I said grandfather.
It's not a zoning ordinance. It's not going to affect like the bakery using industrial hemp in their brownies. It's not covered by this. It's the stuff where they've added chemicals, superheated it, and amped up the psychoactive effects of it.
Okay.
So
Like
they
the
go along.
dispensary out there by the fire station, they can still sell it because they are regulated. This goes for any of the rest of them that aren't heavily regulated by Department of Agriculture.
Okay. All right. Will THC drinks sold at Eagle River be covered under this?
They'll be done.
They'll be done, you said?
Yeah, they'll be done.
Anyone else?
Do we know if they're being sold anywhere else at this time? Other than Eagle River?
I do not.
No one's reported any, so.
How will this be tracked? Like, are the cops gonna go around and,
If it was a complaint, I mean, we're not gonna go Gestapo and start going in, but I mean, if somebody were to be in the store, say one of you guys and you see it,
okay,
just call and let us know. I mean, obviously, there's an ordinance violation and we can go in and address it.
Are we going to send this to,
Mr. Singh?
well, yes,
And everybody else. that-
everyone else that
I mean,
has
since-
the
I mean-
ability to sell that, you
I
know,
mean,
so
you
they know.
guys, you guys know that we know now that he is selling it, and then once this is passed, I mean, obviously, we can address it right then, hey, you're done selling this product, you know. Since we already are aware of it.
Well, we can sell it to the Shell, send it to the Shell station.
Just to be
pro-
proactive, so
so that
nobody
I-
else brings it in,
Right.
like
Not
across
thinking-
the
'cause-
street.
Cause not everybody knows how to
Right.
do things, you know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, I like that
Cause
idea.
the gal across the street, why can't I think of what it's called? The other drive-through liquor store.
Cheers Corner.
Cheers, corner.
Cheers, yeah, like, she should be given this, so she knows that she shouldn't bring it.
I mean, the bars could be also given this as well, but I mean, they have the ability to.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, really anyone probably with an A liquor
Really?
license, we should mail
Right.
them
I guess
this.
anybody with a liquor license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a good start.
Then they can't say that, oh, we didn't know.
Right, right.
Good point, Jackie.
Yeah, I agree.
On page 18, number 5, there's a blank there. Found guilty. The fine is up to how much per day?
I'm selling that?
Yes.
Is this something we have to decide?
Or does it fall under your fee schedule? I don't know, because it's, would it fall under the fee schedule up to 750 or?
I would think so. I mean, it would be, you can't, they're charged over the maximum amount,
So, I mean, they would definitely.
but the council can set a lower fine if they want to.
I mean, we could make it, cause the fee schedule is basically 100 to 750. I mean, we could start out, hey, your first day's 100, second day's 250, third day's 350, fourth day 750. Say it's your fifth day, we'll just shut you down, we'll take your liquor license off the wall. I mean, that's something you guys would have to decide, but I mean,
Right.
we definitely have the option to do that. Or you can be more extreme, hey, first day's 100, 500, 750, we take, whatever, I mean, that's what you guys decide, but I would think, like Rebecca said, I would do a progressive through the fee schedule, starting with the 100, and then obviously ultimately, I mean, worst case scenario, you can pull their liquor license.
Say 100, 500, 750, and then liquor license.
100, 500, 750 liquor license?
I agree with that.
Anyone else?
Somebody wanna make the amended motion?
I will.
I'll second.
Roll call, Tori, please.
Alderperson King,
Yes.
Mask, Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Sewell,
Yes.
Van Campen, yes. Wilkin,
Yes.
Boonstra, Bergrat.
Yes.
Okay, number 9 is motion to approve and vote on the ordinance amending section 31.007 entitled compensation of chapter 31, title 3 of the Code of Ordinances. It's page 20 through 22. This is basically not a rewrite or anything, it's just fixing the error that was discovered in the previous meetings.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second, any discussion? Roll call please, Tori.
Alderperson Bergrat,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Mask, Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Sewell,
Yes.
Van Campen,
Yes.
Wilken,
Yes.
Boonstra.
All right, next we have a motion to approve and vote on a resolution authorizing the release of closed session minutes Schedule A, page 23 through 24.
So moved.
Motion,
Support.
any discussion? Roll call please, Tori.
Alderperson Mask, Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Sewell,
Yes.
Van Campen,
Yes.
Wilken,
Yes.
Boonstra, Bergrat,
Yes.
King.
Yes.
All right, next, motion to approve and vote on resolution recommending the Schedule B of the closed session minutes remain closed because the need for confidentiality still exists, pages 25 to 26.
So moved.
Motion, second?
Second.
Keith beats me every time. Any discussion? Roll call please, Tori.
Alderperson King,
Yes.
Mask, Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Sewell,
Yes.
Van Campen, Wilken,
Yes.
Boonstra, Bergrat.
Yes.
All right, next, Renee has an update for us on Liquor Commission.
I just wanted to give you guys a small update because we were so focused on the whole B1 license that I didn't really get a chance to talk to you all after we introduced the new fees and everything with the businesses. I did talk to Tatiana, she's the assistant for Dan Dolan, and let her know that we had voted not to increase the B1. She had asked me how it was voted and I gave her the vote and she just basically said, thank you for all your help. And then May 1 is when our new year, where I introduced everything to the new businesses. I wanted to let you know that I did not receive any pushback from any business in town. They were very agreeable with the fees, the Bassett certificate copies, and our new in-depth application. So everyone was very good about that. I was able to meet Mark Zahara, he's our liquor control supervisor for our northern region. He was down the week of Dutch Days doing some work and stopped in, and I think he's gonna be a really good person to get in touch with if we have questions in the future. The only one that did not renew was Crumpets, decided not to renew their liquor license. Chuck also did not renew it, but I just talked to him last week and he's kind of thinking about renewing it now, so we'll see how that goes with them. I was able also to do a walkthrough this morning at Cheers Corner. She has that new addition that's going up and she's very excited about getting that done. They have a huge pizza oven in there and she's also gonna be doing some Indian food and they'll have a full bar in the back with that as well. She's just looking for a full-time chef at the moment. Also, I went and visited Gerlob and he's got his bar in, it's beautiful, it looks great in there. And he's got the state inspector coming Saturday as far as his video gaming. And I also just stopped in at Julie's just to meet the manager and everything looked great in there. So I think our next step is just Rebecca and I will get together down the road here and get finished up with the whole ordinance. But I think it's gone really well, so.
Yep, Renee, thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Renee. Next discussion is the grocery tax. It's the 1% tax we kind of talked about last week. I did a little bit of research. Currently 39 states don't even have a grocery tax. If we want to keep the 1%, then we need to draft the ordinance here shortly before October. But basically it's groceries at a grocery store are taxed 1%, and for us it's probably Dollar General. Items that are not taxed are candy, soda, alcohol. So those items are not taxed anyway, but I think it's a small footprint for our community. Like, we probably do not receive a lot of revenue from that 1%.
Is there a breakdown of what we bring in, like, is it lumped into another?
No, it's lumped into a sum with a lot of our money, so we don't have an actual breakdown of what we're getting because it is so small. Like bigger cities, obviously it's broken out because they're getting a lot more share of it, but you know, we get such a minute little part of it just comes in with our sales tax.
I've gone back and forth on this. I thought Zach brought up a good point last meeting about we did just add in the 911 tax, and so our sales tax is increasing. And so this would be a chance to remove this and lower that down a little bit. But also, I think if this tax is being used for streets and roads, you hate to take away something that's already bringing in revenue towards those type of things. But if it's such a minute amount that it's really not making a difference anyway. If we had a main grocery store like a Hy-Vee or something,
Yeah,
it
right.
may be a different story, but being that it is just Dollar General, I think I could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to throw a number out there, I mean, I would say it's less than probably $8,000 a year is what we get. I mean, we don't make a ton of money off of it, so.
Is there a reason why do we get the option every year to do it, or?
Yeah, so even if we decide we don't wanna do anything with it right away, cause we have to let Department of Revenue know by October 1st. So say January, February comes around, we realize like, hey, we are missing out on a bigger chunk of change than we thought, we can still adopt the ordinance and put that 1% back. So it's always an option that we can add the 1% back. It's being repealed in January 1st of 2026. So they're just giving all the municipalities a chance to adopt the ordinance on their own, and then, you know, but some are opting to not do anything with it, but.
So is there any work on your part, Eric, or Ally's part that involves with this?
No, once the ordinance is signed, we send it to Department of Revenue and then they take care of it from there.
And we've had this on there now, or this is something new we're adopting?
So the state of Illinois started the grocery tax in the early 90s. And so we've had it since then, but then it was suspended in 2022, I believe it was, due to the governor thought that with the way inflation was going, it was getting harder and harder on families who are on food stamps and you know, government assistance to get groceries that they needed. So he repealed or suspended that tax until now he is repealing it altogether.
So I'm confused, do we currently have it or not?
We currently have.
Everybody in the state of Illinois has it right now.
So
It goes
And now
away
they're just giving
1
it up to
January
each
2026.
municipality, whether you wanna keep it or not.
The state revoked it on a state level,
Yep.
leaving it up to the municipalities to decide if they want to implement it individually.
So we just would be keeping what we have.
Yes, or
Or not.
get rid of it.
I'd just like to make the argument again that it's gonna be a 9.5% tax on some items total, when the 0.5% tax, the 911 tax goes into effect, and I don't know when that is, January.
July 1st, I think.
July 1st, so-
Yeah.
Symbolically, it might not be much, and I would prefer to leave it off the
I
schedule.
agree. I think if we ever have the opportunity to lower our taxes in this town, we should, and
I
if
agree.
it's not gonna significantly impact us, then let's not do it.
Right. I agree.
You move on with that? So then we don't have to do anything.
We don't have to do anything.
Okay, great.
Okay, next, we have the marketing tourism coordinator. It's page 27 through 29. It's in here for if anyone reviewed it and had any discussion or any questions for Eric.
I wasn't here at the last meeting, have you had any meetings with anybody since then, or?
Me, Mindy, and Shane met with Grow Clinton here 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Met with Sarah, which is their new tourism director. Had a good conversation with her, and she is in favor of us hiring somebody for Fulton, as she has a lot of ties to the city of Clinton, and that's where a lot of their revenue stream comes from. So it was her recommendation, you know, that if we can have somebody on our side of the river, you know, to attend the Northwest Illinois meetings and, you know, attend the tourism meetings over here to free up some of her time, so that way she doesn't have to be over here attending the meetings, because, you know, with the agreement that we have with Grow Clinton, doesn't really pay them for coming to our meetings and attending them. They will every once in a while if you know something big's coming up, to see if they can help promote something. But Sarah was very much, hey, I can help promote things. You know, as you have them come along, I can get them out there on a bigger stage. But you know, if you guys can have something yourselves locally to help promote and market,
Yeah,
you know,
just creating the pieces and then being able to just send it to her and then she can just share it, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're at the point where we need someone to create the things and develop them, and it's more than just sharing on Facebook, it's, yeah.
Well, the motel tax covered marketing and.
well, tourism and marketing they're not one and the same, but they run a very similar track. So in essence, yes, we would be covered under the hotel motel tax.
I think you're probably just gonna have to call him the tourism director though, and drop the marketing down.
I mean, maybe, I don't know, I haven't,
That's the way I understood it, is that,
Because Chamber of Commerce usually did the marketing,
yeah, the marketing.
but it could have
that
changed,
part of
the
it
laws
would be
could
paid
change, I
for
don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
Hotel motel tax.
I feel like we got a print out or like an email this past fall from somebody, you guys remember that? And it was like listed out all the things that was covered under the hotel, yes. And we've already had this discussion and we're like, yes, everything in this job description is covered, but I know we had a document because it was when Wendy was still here and
His name was Matt?
Parks.
No, it was Matt Lennox.
Matt Lennox, yes.
Yes, he was contacted and it was like,
Yep.
under this job, are all these things covered with the hotel? And yes, so I know that that's been
verify
checked.
that, but just,
But yeah,
I'll just verify it just to be sure, but yeah, I believe we're okay.
Is this a salary position? This is an hourly, just,
Salary, yeah.
okay, and this person will be hired by you and report to you?
Yes. There is one thing I have to add to that job description, and that was on recommendation from Matt Parbs. And it was more, so that way we have indicators of how this person is doing within their job. And I have to look back at my email because I don't remember what he
Yeah,
said.
key performance indicators.
Yes, that's what it was.
Basically a way to track that they're,
Doing what they say they're doing.
yeah, that they're doing what they say that they're gonna do and that we're seeing the fruits of their labor, basically.
Yep.
Evaluation tool.
he is an excellent tool for marketing, tracking. Like he knows like how, like all these
Yeah.
places to go and see, like you direct return on your investment. Okay,
Yep.
you did this and it shows right here, like,
Who's that?
Matt Parbs, he works for Clinton,
Yep,
Grow Clinton.
yep.
And he
Yeah, and we still wanna, and they, you know, they very much wanna keep our partnership together, much like it is, but, you know, they just don't feel they can offer what we used to have when Leslie was in that position. So, they are very much in favor of us having our own person, and then we can piggyback off of them. You know, Sarah and whoever we find, to fill our position, they can meet monthly or quarterly, or, you know, however much they feel they need to get together and go over things. But at least it gives us somebody, you know, somebody is here, they can take requests or phone calls, or maybe they have ideas and they can make this thing huge, I don't know yet, but that's our goal, but but yeah, at least there's somebody here, they can answer that phone call, they can, you know, direct somebody where they need to go, but then we're also promoting Fulton more what we are.
My only question I had was about the salary. If it's $20 or it's 20 hours a week, I mean, you're only paying them like little over 17 an hour. Someone that
Well-
you're wanting all these qualifications and degree and
So the pay
yeah,
is.
minimum wage is. or
Well,
minimum
so,
wage.
yeah, I mean, the pay is negotiable and, you know, I figure more like in the wintertime, they're not gonna have as much to do in the winter months because there's not as much going on compared to the summer, but, I mean, this is just kinda meant to be, you know, a part-time position, you know, for somebody. Obviously, if we can turn it into a full-time position, that's even better yet, but even, you know, we had asked Matt Barbs if he thought that range was good, and he's like, yep, nope, I think you guys are well within asking rights, you know, for the position and part-time, and so then that's kinda how we gauge as to what to pay.
Well, and someone with all of these skills could I envision it being someone that's like a freelance type designer, so this could be a really great gig for them that's part-time, and then they still have the ability to do their other freelance projects and still get that other source of revenue. I think there are a lot of people in this marketing sector that way, so depending on who the person is, the pay might look different and hours and all that.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying like that 18 just seems low. That's just to me.
Yeah, and we asked Matt what he thought about it, and he was kind of in agreement, so.
What if it's slower in the wintertime? Maybe it's not an annual one, maybe we look at hourly that way.
I mean, yeah, we always can.
We just put it in here for discussion, you know?
Yep.
Ideas or. Everyone good? All right, next item of business is, we have a claim for sewer backup. Basically, someone's sewer got backed up and they filed a claim with their insurance, and their insurance paid out $10,000, correct?
I think that's what it was.
But they have a remaining bill of $58.64.91, and they turned it into the city's insurance, and it was declined or denied because there was no fault on the city or negligence on the city's behalf. So now they're asking if the city would like to cover the remaining $58.64.91. Just from some research I've done, like I said, there's been claims in the past, they've all been denied. All of them have not had negligence on the city. So it's here for discussion if anyone has an opinion.
All the years that I've been on, we've never paid.
Are they saying that there was some negligence? Are they arguing that fact?
I don't believe
No, I
so.
don't think so, I just think if they had
Just
that.
broke down like the policies and then.
So Eric, I know in years past, a lot of these claims have come out like the third ward, where it's flat, get a lot of rain, a lot of, the sewers get overwhelmed. This one I was surprised to learn it's up in the fourth ward. Is that at the end of a line or something?
Yeah, so that's where a line would begin.
Okay.
Essentially, so what had happened was, the morning they had woken up and discovered sewage in the basement, so they called the local plumber. He called us right away to have us go look at, our sewer lines. We went up there, we got the call around 7:30, we were up there a little before 8, ran our jetter truck up through there, got whatever blockage there was cleaned out, and, that was pretty much the end of it. So, the unfortunate thing is we can't fix something we don't know is there.
Sure.
And that's why the insurance company takes a stance. It's not negligence because you did respond when you knew there was an issue. But had we known there was an issue and we didn't do anything about it, then obviously they could come back on negligence on the city, but.
I don't know how old that house is, but I would assume it's relatively new enough to have a check valve from.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's one of the older houses up there, but I think it was built in probably the 80s would be my guess, maybe early 90s.
I don't understand what they say, the city's insurance carrier failed to cover us even though the city pays for the coverage.
Yeah, so our insurance, looks out for the city, so they're not just gonna go out and pay insurance claims as they come in. So they investigate them, they have an investigator that, you know, they make phone calls to us, they make phone calls to the resident, to try and get as much information as possible, and then whoever that adjuster is, they are the ones that give the recommendation to the insurance company that says, hey, the city of Fulton didn't have any negligence, you know, there's nothing they could have done to prevent this. Or if if it was like a tree fell on a car and we knew the tree was dead, okay, the city knew the tree was dead, it fell, okay, we can, we'll pay some, but yeah, is sewer claims, unfortunately, we've never covered any of them.
Do we have anything from them stating that they investigated and everything was found to be, we're fine, the city's fine? Do we actually have documentation on that?
From our insurance company?
Yeah.
Yeah, they send us a letter and then they also send the homeowner a letter as well.
Of the 20 claims that have been filed since 2015 for sewer backups, how many of those have been out of the fourth ward? Is that the only one? Or has there been more?
I think
I didn't look at
I
that.
think if I remember right, the last claim was out of fourth ward was 2022, I wanna say. And that was on the complete opposite end of the fourth ward. So that was the only other claim that I'm aware of.
Okay. Again, I know this has been an issue in the past with rainwater, rain events. There was no rain on this day. I went and looked back up, but I don't know, it's kind of just seems odd.
It, unfortunately, a lot of people don't take into consideration what they flushed down the toilet. I'm not faulting this homeowner for anything. It may not even been anything they did, but it could have been one of the neighbors that was flushing something they weren't supposed to be. So, just because it says it's a flushable wipe does not mean it is flushable.
I had it happen to me, never got the Bruno.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's.
Yep.
And then there's tree roots.
Yep, yeah, tree roots, unfortunately, we can't do anything about.
So we need to make a decision on whether we're going to do anything with this, or is this purely awareness?
It was up for your consideration if you guys felt that you wanted to pay it out of the goodness of your hearts, or we just want to keep the ways of the past going, and once our insurance company makes the final decision, then that's where it lays. But they weren't happy with the decision of the insurance company, so they wanted to bring it to the council to see if the council would pay. I said,
No, I think we should go by what our insurance company, because I think he can open a can of worms here.
You will, yeah.
Big time.
So as far as like new builds, when those happen and we have a code as far as the sewer and how things are set up, if there's valves that and go in and out of the house, those type of things. Now with Adam in his position, is he checking those type of things?
No, so that it's not technically required to have a backflow preventer. Some companies will suggest if so 15th Avenue, it's a very flat area. It's also a combined storm sewer and sanitary sewer. So a lot of those homes for years face sewer backups in heavy rain events. So what a lot of them did was they installed a backflow preventer, and ever since then, they've never had a problem. So it's really just up to the homeowner on whether or not they want one, or, I would say the average homeowner wouldn't ever need one, but it's a small peace of mind, I guess, to have one.
And it's $20 extra to have put on your home insurance.
Mm-hmm.
That'll cover it.
Yep.
I don't even know about that.
Huh?
I don't even know about that.
What?
Backflow, what would you?
Sewer backup? Yeah,
Oh,
$20.
sorry, yeah.
Yep. It's $20 a year. I have an add-on. I learned the hard way.
You paid for 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
So it's probably safe to say we're not gonna pay?
No.
Alright. On to new business, any alderperson comments? Did you get the tree? Cause you asked for it last time.
Oh, okay, well, I forgot. We can go forward with it?
I thought so.
Yeah, okay, all right,
Just wanted to make sure.
yeah. I will take care of that.
Alright, Eric has his city administrator report here, page 35. Did you wanna talk about it or no?
It's as noted in the packet.
Oh. I'll highlight it. We went to City of Oregon, they're about the same size community as we are. So we met with myself and Ally, Tori, and Eric went there for the day. We met with the mayor, city manager, and city clerk, just, exchange like, how do you guys do this? How do we do, and just pick each other's brains. And then one of the notable differences was they have a complete park district, and it's pretty much funded by the nuclear plant near there. So that was unique to see, and they did have a lot of parks. Another takeaway was the street maintenance. So it says rather than full blacktop resurface, they utilize a seal coating process on all their roads every 5 to 7 years. It's more cost effective than 20 to 30 year blacktop replacement. It works for them on the maintenance of their roads, right? Let's see, downtown project update starting on July 7. We have a grant request in with IDOT, local roads grant, 3.1 million. We are hopeful to get some of those funds. We have support from state representative and state senator, so hope to hear something back from that. And then community improvement, we're still talking with the Kiwanis Club about the splash pad. And we have a grant in for the bike path that we hope to hear back by August.
Speaking of sewer backups, did you see Comanche got their splash pad up and going and
I did.
sewer backups going into people's homes?
So the way they have theirs plumbed in, it was plumbed right into a sanitary sewer line. And because Comanche is a very flat community, they don't have a whole lot of storm sewer. So when the splash pad got up and running, it put so much water out that the system couldn't handle it. And it backed up a bunch of people. Is that Friday?
Yeah, late last week.
Yeah.
Cause people were ready for it with the heat.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they're like, we're shutting it down.
They turned it on and then it backed up into a bunch of people's homes, yeah.
Is that
Luckily
negligence?
with ours will not go into a sanitary system, it goes directly into a storm system, so we will not
They
have
said,
that.
let's learn from their
Are
mistake.
they negligent then? Are they
On
paying?
that one, yes.
I will say I've attended a meeting with MSA and were all the people in that meeting MSA? I don't know, they had a really
No,
good-
it was Tara and Jake.
Who was the gentleman in that meeting?
Jake.
Jake,
Yep.
and who, was he MSA?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they have very good knowledge of the different ways you can do it, and I feel very confident with them, working with them, that they'll do it right.
Right.
Do we have updates on the outdoor fitness and,
I actually just had a meeting with them today, actually, I think the Outdoor Fitness is supposed to be here Thursday, the equipment, they apparently make it 2 hours away from here.
Wow.
That was unbeknownst to me, but,
Okay.
so I had a meeting with them today, we're thinking of doing concrete, hopefully August, September, just kind of depends on how our schedule works out. But yeah, and then I have a grant through ADM I'm gonna apply for. So gonna be working on that here in the next coming weeks, and fingers crossed we can get some money out of ADM.
And is the pickleball courts included in that, or is that still just an
That's
empty
separate,
stage?
yeah,
Okay.
that's separate, yep,
Would that have to be next year?
Yeah.
Something that we'd probably have to budget in for?
Yep.
And then how are we doing with the lights at Friendship Park?
we have the lights, we're just waiting on the electrician.
Okay, I thought he was gonna start on it back in May.
Yeah, he's got some stuff he's gotta do here at City Hall too, so I have to hound him tomorrow.
And how about the signs, friendship sign?
Yeah, I started working with, Lindsay Cummer, she does all the graphics for Fulton Fun Crew, and so she was gonna do that, but she was on vacation and I was on vacation and then she's on so they're in the works. I totally dropped the ball on them, I'll admit, cause I was gonna do them last fall and then we talked, yeah. So that's what I'm talking about, like just having like a marketing type person for the city would be great, cause that would be a good job for that person too.
Did you get my message where Terry had told me that the game board, it's not lighting up?
Yeah, Logan went up there, he said it was working just fine.
Oh, okay.
I think sometimes what happens is it doesn't get wound up enough,
Yeah,
so.
you really gotta crank that thing
You
to
do,
get it
yeah,
going.
you gotta crank it up quite a bit, but, so a lot of times kids will just turn it once or twice and then try and go play,
Oh,
but
they
if you
gotta-
won't play, you gotta.
Yeah, they gotta remember to push one player or two player too,
Right,
that
yeah.
button.
So, but yeah, so far it's working, I've been in touch with Play Illinois to come out, and they're working on trying to schedule a day to come out and do the, inspection of it, the yearly inspection, so hopefully your fingers crossed I can get out here soon.
I only have one question, we were talking about the downtown starting on the 7th. I had emailed you.
Yeah.
So I guess I was a little confused because when I called Surf about it, they said that the city was putting a kibosh, wouldn't allow it to go down. When I talked to Mayor Wendy at the time, because if we need to get like the fiber optics downtown, because I'm tired of paying $400 because I'm a business to get internet.
Mhm.
You know, and slow depending on, if there's a whatever. So I asked Eric and you said that now they don't really want to do that?
So I can give you a little background on that. So when Surf first came to town, they had told us, we're not gonna try and go through downtown because we don't wanna pay for pavement restoration is their biggest thing. They didn't wanna pay for it. And I understand it, especially, we were at that time hopeful we were gonna get the Revitalize Our Downtown grant. Didn't get it, but the plan was when we start construction, they would come in along with the contractor. They would run their fiber lines while everything's tore up, and then we can pour everything back and we don't have to disrupt any sidewalks, streets, anything. So about 6-8 months ago, I had reached out to the contact that I have at Surf and said, hey, this is gonna be a go next year. Are you guys still thinking of running your lines, while everything's tore up? He said, well, let me get with my higher ups, I'll get an answer for you. Well, I never heard anything back, so I emailed him again. I still haven't heard anything back, so I actually emailed Stratus, which is who we have here at City Hall. And they're very eager to run fiber lines through downtown. I have a meeting with them later this week to try and figure out, how they wanna handle all this, but like I told them, I said, even if you just get the fiber conduit in, get the conduit in the ground, and then if you guys come back in after the fact to make all your connections and runs, we're perfectly fine with that, but we want it in the ground, ready to go, so that way we don't have to mess with it later on, so. But it did sound like they were very eager to come up and have a conversation and possibly get our downtown taken care of, so.
So I have Stratus, they were excellent to work with.
Yep.
And great internet with them. The only thing with them is they are only commercial.
Yeah.
So it could be an issue. I mean, how would that work with an apartment up above for a residential person?
See, that would have to be something worked out with each individual property owner to where, maybe that's included in on
Run
their
it to
bill,
like their LLC, like, so it's the,
Right.
yeah.
Well, and so that's another reason, because my tenant upstairs, one of them was asking because they're tired of MediaCom.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, so then you would get with your business and you just charge it through their rent, I guess.
But that would be up to each individual property owner, how they wanna handle that. But it's an option at least, so.
That's good, that's great, I'm glad that they were
Yeah.
interested in doing that.
Yeah, they're very interested, so hopefully I can have some more information at the next meeting will be when they start, so. So for anybody that hasn't heard, they will be closing 4th Street down between 10th and 12th Avenue. Cause they're gonna do all of their underground work first. So they wanna get all the water lines, storm sewer, water service, each water service that goes across the road. Compared to trying to shut down each day, and they said it'll be easier if we just keep it shut down for the month or month and a half to get each service ran, and then they're not disrupting every single day, but the sidewalks will still be open.
What about 12th to 13th?
So talked with Willett Hoffman, with this grant pending, we're holding off and hopeful that we can get the grant to help fund that. Because those plans aren't quite ready yet, but if we get that grant, that'll all be taken care of.
If we don't, we're just gonna do it anyway, right?
Well, that's up to the council.
I can't believe we didn't include them in the beginning.
That was not my call.
And that's the first block when you come into town. And you're gonna have it looking old and crappy and the rest of it looking good. Don't make a lot of sense.
That was not my call at the time.
Should have been included at the beginning.
So they're closing down 4th Street on July 7th?
Yep, all business owners were given a flyer last Tuesday, I believe it was. Shane went around to each business and handed a flyer out for the ones that'll be affected, so.
Okay, can we do the social media post?
Yep, that's the plan.
Okay. Shoot, maybe even a map of how to get around.
Yeah.
Since we're gonna go to a one-way anyway, that was already decided,
Right.
correct?
Yeah.
So,
Eric,
get a head start on that.
I think maybe we should include the 3rd block.
Can we
Well,
put that on the
I can-
agenda to talk about?
Let's hold off and see if we get this grant, cause if we get the grant, then we don't have to take
But
any
if we hold
action.
off, it's gonna get forgotten.
It's not gonna get forgotten, it's just, the engineer doesn't have that set of plans quite ready yet. So I have to wait until he has the plans before he can bring that forward to the contractor to actually give us some numbers on it. So I can see how close they are on the plans, but as of our meeting, which would have been 2 weeks ago for the pre-construction meeting, they weren't quite ready yet, so I can ask if they're ready to go.
Are we talking about the block like in front of Wits End?
Yeah.
That one's not included, it starts at Johnny's? Am I-
Yeah.
No, we should include
We
all.
should include them all. That's
not
where you
just- we're
start
gonna do
coming in.
200
I'm just asking,
Yeah.
what is included right now? It's Johnny's to the post office, basically,
Right.
right? Okay.
Can we get that on the agenda next month, or next meeting to talk
We're
about
saying that
this?
they should just do all 3 all at once.
Mr. Mayor?
Corey's making a note.
So the streets aren't being done this year anyway, and you're saying the plans aren't quite ready
To
for
do all the
that.
sidewalks.
Well, you wanna get the sidewalks done too, otherwise you're gonna, if you try to do sidewalks and street on that block in 1 year, you're shutting business completely down. Or
No,
if
they
you
would
do
do
just
it the
sidewalks,
same, they're gonna do that the same way they're doing this
cause
project.
their sidewalks down there right now are crap, and the street ain't any much better.
Well, and they would have streetlights too that need replaced, right?
Yeah, but so we'll have all the streetlights, because we are trying to utilize the grant that we have. So all the streetlights will be here, and then next year when construction starts, the rest of it will be taken care of.
Still wanna talk about it.
Yeah, cause there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 businesses on that block.
Why were they discluded in the first place, do we know?
Yeah, I don't
That
know.
was, that was not my call, that was the mayor at the time's call.
And like Tracy has anywhere from 20 to 30 people in one day. And the dog groomer, at least 5 or 6, you know, and then now Dawn and Mike, this is the highlight of their season, they're in the main. So,
Yeah, they
And
bring a
there's-
lot of business to town.
yeah, and there's no,
And
they don't have a back door to come in,
Yeah,
to have people come in.
they made it look nice.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the one-way is gonna start at 13th, correct?
Right.
But the one way won't take place until all construction is done.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just don't want it to look different either.
Yeah, I guess I never knew that wasn't included.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, I mean, when you come off the bridge and that's the main part of town and the rest of town look nice and this,
And
no, I
that's where
just.
your one-way is gonna start, you want it to
Yeah.
look good right there,
Mhm.
you know, otherwise people get the wrong impression right as you come in and then all of a sudden, oh, this is different.
Well, that doesn't
Forget
make
some
sense.
part of it.
I thought that it
Yeah,
just,
I worry.
I thought
I
it
know, but it
stopped
doesn't
at
make sense, does
Woods End.
it?
I guess I just thought that.
Yeah.
No, it stops at 12.
Stops at Johnny's and the rest of it don't get
Yeah.
nothing.
So the price tag we would be looking at would be roughly 600 to 700,000 to add that additional block.
So it was a cost decision.
Well, no, that was decided way before we knew a cost. That's just off the numbers that we were given off of the bid opening, that's roughly what it would cost.
But you can't do half of a town roof.
Yeah, you
Right.
get part of it, you wanna do it
So,
all.
yeah, the price tag isn't cool, but you can't do part, not do all, because then what does it say, like that those businesses aren't important, just like,
Yeah.
Well, and like you said, that's where the one-way starts, so why would you not have that look the same as the other two?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense.
And like you said, it's not your fault, we just need to figure something out.
Tori, you have it for discussion next time?
I'm taking this a note.
Thank you.
Yeah, because if we don't get the grant, we'd still have to do it next year, correct?
Yeah, it would just be part of the bond next
Yeah,
year.
so I'm just thinking, why don't we just do it all and be done with it? But I don't know, that's the council all has to decide.
All right, next we have the public safety meeting minutes. Terry or Barb are not here, but if you sum up the packet here, it looks like they looked at the Dutch Day Festival, not a lot of interruptions, everything went pretty smooth. They may revisit shuttle services for people who park further away. Compliments to the PD for being out there 2 days. Thanks, Chief, to him and his team. Chief's report, you're looking to hire a part-time?
We're still good since we're full staff, we're not really actively looking for anybody part-time.
Sounds good.
So, yeah, like I said, this report's a little old and most of the stuff we've already kind of addressed in here, like the
Okay.
golf cart ordinance and stuff like that.
Right.
Eagle River, obviously. The lighting at the park, sorry, Mayor, I took over. Lighting at the park's been addressed, that everybody's kind of taken care of. And then obviously there's still the odor at the cultivation center that we can't really do a whole lot about. I am gonna add one thing, and that's please, everybody, please come out to Splash Day, which is on the 8th. We're starting a Splash Day 2 hours or 3 o'clock prior to the Totally Tuesday event. We got a lot of big stuff going on that day. Like we're going all out. I'm not saying a whole lot, but there will be a dunk tank, and it'll be a good time prior to. So like I said, we're gonna bring back the Splash Day that everybody loved. So hopefully we can keep all that going. And like I said, we got some other surprises.
Are you getting in the dunk tank?
I know people that are getting in the dunk tank. I can tell you that. I said it's all a surprise.
What did they decide on the parking for Seventh Street and Tenth Avenue. Eric, did you guys decide anything for that?
Well, yeah, well, that was when they kind of brought up the permitted parking, and this just, you're opening something that you're not gonna be able to do. I mean, if you try to make a rule that, you know, you can have permitted parking in front of a section of your home, who's to say that I don't get a permit to park in front of your
Well,
house?
I didn't know that they changed it because they always had parked there. Deb and Fletcher and them always parked there. That's how they got in their house. I didn't know they changed it.
I guess I'm-
Well, so a few years ago, well, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, we put no parking on one side.
Oh, right.
Because the neighbor has pretty much lined that side of the road, it'd be the east side of the road with their vehicles. And so when they would park, that homeowner, when they would park on the west side, we couldn't get a plow up through there in the wintertime. So we brought it to the council to do no parking from 10th Avenue to 13th Avenue on the west side. So, that's been in place now for a couple of years, but, and her complaint was, yeah, hey, I can't even park here because my neighbor's taking all the spots, so, but now that individual no longer lives there anymore, so.
That cured the problem.
Yeah,
For now, till the next person moves in.
well, there's a driveway there, and they were even parking in the yard before, so I mean, you can always park somewhere. They weren't even parking in the driveway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's part of the problem. Yeah, it's.
Oh, okay, all right.
Chad, how many part-time officers do we have right now?
Two.
And they're just on call as needed?
Yeah, we haven't used anybody part-time for a while already, which is really good.
Thank you.
Alright, next we have a Historical Society report, it's page 37. Not much to report, the Martin House Museum opening balance, $36,778. There are no expenses listed. That's about it for that one. Alright, I will entertain a motion and a second to go into closed session to discuss personnel, litigation, or property. So I get a motion.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Tori.
Alderperson Berggraf,
Yes?
King,
Yes.
Ask, Ratcliffe,
Yes.
Sewell,
Yes.
and Campus,
Yep.
Wilkin,
Yes.
Lundstrom.